Hello, family. Welcome to this episode. On this episode, we want to take a look at Prophet Uebert Angel, who explains how his spiritual father, Pastor Chris, used to receive or answer calls from his own spiritual father, which is a Bishop or Pastor Dr. Benson Idahosa. Or I don't know, Idahosa. You know Idahosa. The way he used to receive call from him. He said even if the wife of Idahosa is there, when he's picking the call, what he does is he go down on his knees. He will be on his knees to receive his call. He just talking much about Pastor Chris. That's because he's spiritual father. So I don't know the significance of that. I don't know the significance of that. I don't really know the significance of that for real. I don't know what it does to humanity. I don't know what it does to Christianity. But it's a message which I want you to watch yourself. You know, he keeps talking about Pastor Chris as a spiritual father. He keeps talking different things about it. He will tell you if Pastor Chris call him now, even if he's preaching, he will pick his call while on the altar because it's God to him. So I want you to watch this video how he explains better because I cannot say it better. So we need to explain to you better how Pastor Chris used to behave and act when his spiritual father calls him on phone. Watch the video.
Do you know Pastor Chris, when he answers a phone, just answering a phone of Margaret Idahosa, the wife of his spiritual father, Archbishop Idahosa, who went home to be with the Lord of blessed memory. Listen to me. He kneels down to answer a phone. That's why I said to you, never kneel down before a man of God who doesn't kneel before another man of God. Never. It will be called worship. If whosoever you are kneeling down to is not kneeling down to someone else, you are worshiping him. Most of you are going to lose the anointing you were sent to receive. Because what you see in a man of God is money. What you see in a man of God is what they can do for you financially. You have never seen what they can do for you spiritually. Just a connection with them. There is no day I've ever asked Pastor Chris for money. No day. The day I arrived and I sat down with him like this, he said, "What do you want me to do for you?" That was the first question. And I'd already been informed by the sister, who is also a minister in the church, that he helps people. He helps people millions and millions and millions. He's just built another person's church. And I know you're building a church. If he asks you, just tell him about the church. Don't worry. He means it. When they said, "Okay, you're building a church." Yes. I said, "Yeah, we're actually trying to get one. It was £5 million. Then we said some few things about that church. Then he says, "What do you want me to do to help you with?" Money. Immediately, I remembered there is something in him I need more than the money he can give me. I said, "If it is possible, call me Uebert, not Prophet." He looked at me and said, "You are very different." Now I struck a chord. I'm no longer like any freeloader. I came out there stronger financially than when I entered. Because the person who had the finances and the anointing had seen a young man who is interested in what God had given him, not the results of what God had given him. I loved him and love him still, not for the results of what is there. Sometimes for him to say hello on the phone, he said, "Grace, it's a plus." Just to see his photo. I'm like, that's my father. So I can't do it until you honor the unction upon a man. Honor it. See it. Hear this. The enemy is busy closing the wells you should drink from. They will malign every man, every woman who is sent to deliver you. They will malign them. They will write nonsense. They will say nonsense. They will lie about them. And you will believe it because you are stupid. When I look at Pastor Chris, that's my inspiration. I'm not trying to replace him on this earth. No. If he says what I have, I pass on to you. I'm not in any minute thinking he's dying. I'm looking at my father and I know he's not dying. I'm looking at my father saying, what I have passed on to you. I say, hey, the journey I have to be like him. Because as I move to be like him, he's moving to be like Jesus. So it's a continuous pursuit. I'm trying to be like him. But he has given me access by what was passed down to me. I now pass it on to you. It's not an emptying of a man and giving me all he has and him disappearing. No. That means the path is open. See, there were times where Pastor Chris would run around everywhere. He still does a few times. But his preaching has become more composed. Didactic. But more composed. Deep and deeper. He's going deeper and deeper and deeper. Higher in revelation. But you know what I'm doing? I'm copying the Pastor Chris of old. Changing by time towards the path he walked. Once in a while, you can see the similarities. Because I'm looking at the metamorphosis of the graph. The biggest problem in the church today is sons who don't want to have what I have, but want to replace me from my position. I see young people that are rising and you hear them saying, I'm controlling now, everything now. In the apostolic, you say, hey, your pampers are still on and falling off once in a while. And you call yourself the controller of the prophetic, the controller. I say, wow. Because the idea is, if I find a man, I need to replace him. Never fight your inspiration. Remain with the inspiration being your inspiration. Choose to be like me, but never choose to replace me. I will choose to be like you in your area, but I'll never choose to replace you.
Oh, welcome back. He was just trying to let you understand that you don't go to a prophet because you want to get money from the prophet. You don't go to a prophet because you need something, but because it is more to gain something spiritual than the physical. So when you have a prophet, you need to go to him or her to gain something spiritually. Don't look at something you need to gain physical, because something physical will end, will finish ASAP. But something spiritual will be there. So you need to be very careful when you go to a prophet. Make sure you go because you want to get something spiritual, not something physical. So it was just, that's why he gave example of himself that okay, he needed money, he needed something, but the Pastor Chris sister told him, if you need anything, you tell him, he will give you. But because he needs something special, so he said he gained more spiritually, he came out financially free than him asking Pastor Chris for money. So I think you get the message. If you don't get it, I can't help. If you get the message, fine. If you don't get it, message, I can't help. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and share. Drop the comments what you think. Baba, I will always say, preach Jesus. Stop preaching men. Preach Christ. Stop preaching men. Yes, it's good. Preach men. Preach Jesus alone. Thank you for watching. God bless.